And Dave always said the best way to never forget your wife's birthday is just all you got to do is forget it once.
Yeah.
If you forget it once, you'll never. Oh, Brian, I mean,
but after you've forgotten it once, there may not be a need to remember it again.
Yeah, but let me ask you, buddy, I'd rank that right up there with a Class 3 marriage felony, missing Mother's Day. Wow.
Well, I acknowledged it. I just didn't get a card or a present, nor did my kids. So that was
my goodness.
That's
He's a
brutal.
stereotypical sports gambler.
That's a gamble.
Yeah, sports gamblers. That's it. It's all about my next
But I went all in on the birthday. I didn't see. It's all. They're always within 3 days, and the anniversary is also right.
So you got an over-under on the gifts, and what about the acceptance of whether you're willing to happy with the gift or not? Is there an over-under on that as well?
She's gonna like it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
You know what I do now, Brian? I got a secret compartment in the garage. Well, when we come back, I'm gonna give you a little thing from a 31-year-old marriage veteran. Folks, this is Fifth Street Sports. We got Chip Chirimbus, Oklahoma Brian, and myself, Frank Perez. We will be back. We got a great show. Stay tuned.
For years, they said that it could lead to madness. They relegated it to dark rooms and back alleys. They shamed those who grew it. They did a stop and frisk on anyone they thought might have it. But now a completely new era has begun because of it. The new normal is here. This month, millions have witnessed its arrival. Have you? Brought to life in a short film that runs only 2 minutes long, the new normal seeks to leave behind 80 years of unjust prohibition in favor of a safer, happier world. It reveals a product that once drove good people to the black market as one that today is creating a new global market. In this new era, a plant that was viewed with fear now represents a source of calm and wellness. From this day forward, what inspired the symbol of counterculture is at long last just culture. The new normal has arrived to your city, to your neighborhood, to the inside of your living room. Watch it now. Experience the new normal at medmen.com.
Trade pros. Whether you specialize in service or new construction, Ferguson knows firsthand how much work goes into a long day on the job, which is why we're committed to offering the products and solutions to get every job done right. With over 1,000 locations, an unmatched selection of specialty products, tools, and supplies, our pro pickup and same or next day delivery, you can trust that doing business with Ferguson will be the easiest part of your hard day's work. Visit Ferguson.com to find a counter location near you.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip, or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
This is gonna be the good life. Gonna be the G3 life.
Hey anglers, Scott Turnage here, the old G3 sportsman. 2019 is here and the new G3 boats are better than ever. Stop by your nearest G3 dealer and check out the most diverse lineup of aluminum boats and pontoons on the market today. Come on over and enjoy the G3 life, just like me.
All right, folks, welcome back to Fifth Street Sports on Sports Byline USA Radio Network. We got Chip Chirimbus, Oklahoma Brian. I'm Frank Perez. We are going to be talking. We're going to be all over the place, sports, a little bit of this and that. I was going to give Brian a little tip. I'm a 31-year-old veteran of the marriage thing, so it doesn't happen again, especially when you go down there. Brian, now, when you go at the end, you know, when you're rushing at the thing to get the Mother's Day or the birthday card, and Try to
He doesn't even do that, Frank.
No, but what you what you got to try to do is get yourself a little secret space and try to buy 2 or 3 things. The ones that don't go bad, gift cards, just for an emergency, so that in a given moment, when you go, oh my God, you can run out there and at least get a, like a B- or a C+ gift, but it's there. You know what I mean?
Sort of like that movie How to Cheat on Your Wife, where you have a separate set of clothes in the hidden in the compartment and in the trunk of your car, so that if you get messed up, you can change into real quick and no one would know the difference. I got your idea.
Hey, but Brian, I was just talking to Chip. I think we're going to have one of the guys you like, or we're trying to get him on the show, is Dog, the bounty hunter.
Nice.
We've got some people we've been talking to. And,
right.
We're barking at him.
Cool. Is he a sports fan?
Well, maybe it's his wife. Maybe she's the player in the family.
Nice.
I think with his temperament that he loves the action.
Make sure we don't have anybody that's on the lam hanging out at the studio there.
He has security with him at all times. He does not travel alone. His posse is as big as any NBA players. I'll tell you that.
Now, if we were ever to get him on the show, Chip, would his security be down here with us?
Maybe not. Maybe not. I mean, why not though? They stay over there. I mean, they don't think I'm going to jump them or anything like that, but they might be out in front. Or if it's something like this relaxed atmosphere, if you made a pledge not to sucker punch them, maybe they don't bring the security.
Oh no, believe me, I'd be very nice to that guy. He's a rough looking dude.
He's not. He hasn't been kind either in the exchanges I've understood. He's been involved.
Yeah, he would get all fluffy questions from me. But Brian, what I was going to ask you now? I know this is fresh, and I don't want to hit you out of left field. Have you got any? Did you do any research on this NBA draft? They said it was wild and wacky.
Well, I saw the results. I didn't see it happen live. Yeah, it sounds like New Orleans had a 6% chance to pull this off, and they end up with Zion. Well, they end up with the first pick, which is undoubtedly Zion Williamson. So good for them. If there's one team that I think deserves a break, I think it's the Pelicans. And I'm not necessarily a Pelicans fan, but I really I'm very sympathetic to the plight of small markets, and I'm happy for them.
What did you notice, Chip?
I was just thinking about the season to talk about. The discussion in the NBA from January 1st on is virtually who's tanking. And the top 3 teams that tanked, 2 of them ended up outside the top 5, I think. The Knicks were the only one. They maintained the 3 spot where they were projected to be anyway. But the other thing is, New Orleans was accused of tanking as well this year, weren't they? And especially when they would take Anthony Davis out of games and they would blow in the fourth quarter, and I guess it didn't hurt them. So maybe there's something.
They kind of went back and forth, didn't they? I think there were times
he would play 22
not.
minutes, or I remember a number of games where he just didn't play in the fourth quarter at all, and they were talking about the value, the trade value, or the draft value. And it is really actually kind of negligible. I mean, it's got to be a very minute amount because, I mean, the top 3 chances were all 14%. And that's not overwhelming. That isn't a 50 or 60% chance. That's 14%. That's 1 in 7. So, that it didn't happen because it is only 1 in 7. One of the other 6 came out.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you change it. What would you do with it? I mean, you want teams to give their best, and yet you want these other teams to be able to at least have a shot of improving. I mean, it's kind of strange now. What if Zion Williamson decides he doesn't like New Orleans and he'll just stay in school another year? Or if he says I don't want to play in New Orleans, would they trade that pick to the Knicks in exchange plus something else? Because he may not want to go there.
That would really, really be interesting. I don't think
is that leverage for a kid that's 19 years old?
Yeah, that's a John Elway move. I don't think he could pull it off.
Yeah, well, it's just. I mean, he can do it through his. If he doesn't have an agent yet, I mean, he could very. Well, I don't know if these guys can keep things quiet about it. Say, look, he can come to us right now and say, I think I'm going to return next year for my sophomore year because I want to win a national championship for Coach K.
Does Duke have to pay him a second time?
Well, I think Nike would chip in for the most part because he certainly have to be a valuable prize of them that he hasn't turned
wait a
on
second,
them.
Nick,
I would have turned on them in a second.
Chip, what does Nike have to do with this?
Well, because if he didn't tear through that shoe, I would come out right. Nike supports Duke's basketball team as far as their equipment goes. I would say I want to go to Adidas.
So do you think
You're not
that
forcing me to use this inferior product?
So do you think that these amateur athletes have ever received complimentary pairs of Nikes or anything?
Every one of them is given to them by the school.
Yeah.
You know, and
you
don't buy your own baseball bat if you're playing for Alabama.
Okay.
You know,
All
the school supplies it. I mean, you may get to pick out the one you want, but
the ironic thing. The ironic thing with the Zion Williamson scenario was that was actually the cheapest level of shoes that he could have worn. They're comfortable pair of shoes, but those were a pretty low level pair of Nikes he was wearing.
I'm surprised he hasn't had any negative reaction to it. I mean, he really hasn't. I mean, so I don't think, other than those shoes and maybe a pair of socks, I don't know if he's been compensated.
Maybe a couple duffel bags of $100 bills. That's it. Not too much.
Right. I mean, Brian, I know that you love these drafts and these things because they fit right into your wheelhouse of conspiracies, teams trying to lose, teams, finagling for the long term. I know you love that kind of stuff. But are you convinced that this NCAA is that corrupt? That these guys were actually getting duffel bags?
Oh, yes.
Well, I don't know if it's the NCAA that's corrupt, but yes, they're getting paid. Yeah. I
believe it. Absolutely.
Yeah, the case of Williamson, Michael Avenatti basically rolled out all the evidence specifically on him. But it's kind of funny. As a society, I think it's not even exciting anymore. Like every day a new story comes out relating to paying players, and I think the public's almost kind of bored with it as a story. So
it's so blatant now, often enough, and no one's discreet about anything anymore. The other thing about it, having them, let's move on. I want to get off that. I didn't want to say anything bad.
No. I mean you can. I mean, well, how bad is it?
You see. This is it. See how he probes me?
I mean, we've said some pretty nasty stuff on this.
Well.
Oh, it doesn't make it okay. All right. We got Andrew.
I'm saying, what if Zion says, okay, I'll go to New Orleans. I'm a number one draft pick. I'm proud to be the number one pick, and I want to bring the Pelicans to fly away and be champions. Now, who do Knicks take at number 3, and who the Grizzlies going to take at number 2? Are they going to go guard the next 2 players?
Yeah, I think it's kind of up in the air, 2 through 4. I think could be the 2 Duke guys plus the guy, at Morant kid.
Yep.
Those are the next 3, but I think the order is really up in the air.
And how is this Barrett from Duke? Do you think he's a bona fide all-star when he gets to the NBA?
Boy, I don't know that any of those guys are bona fide all-stars.
They're projecting him. The Knicks are projecting him to be the number 3 pick in New York right now, and I'm just wondering, is he an all-star?
Well, that's the kiss. You just answered the question right there, Chip. That's the kiss of death. If he goes to the Knicks, we know what the trajectory is, right?
They're still waiting for Knox to develop out of Kentucky, and I think they better start developing soon because it's really getting bad there.
Hey, speaking of the Knicks, have you been following this Porzingis scenario over the weekend? Man, let me ask you a question. I don't want to get too philosophical, but we're going to go into a commercial. But think about this. If Porzingis was black, would he be getting the same amount of opportunity after everything that's happened to him at this point?
Brian, his play on the court is nothing to be smirched. That's for sure.
We got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to start right up with that, folks. Fifth Street Sports, back after this.
Do you use the the blue pill to charge your sex life? Have you been thinking about trying the blue pill? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pill delivers the exact same results for less than $3. We'll do the math for you. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. Want more? We'll give you 40 blue pills or 40 yellow pills for $99 and add 4 more pills free. You save more than $500. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know what to do next. You need to call and get your 44 pills for just $99. Stop overpaying for the other blue pills. Call us and start saving a ton of money for the exact same results. Ordering is fast and easy with your pills delivered to your door in a non-marked package. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. That's 800-223-0992. It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
Attention business owners. Are you struggling while waiting for your customers to pay on their net 30, 60, or 90-day invoices? Can't get a business loan? Have no equity? Bad credit? Or maybe no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors right now. AmeriFactors will give you cash for your invoices and there's nothing to pay back. We simply buy your account receivables, and if those clients don't pay on the invoices, we take the loss. We give you funds based on your account receivables, not your credit. And 98% of all applicants are approved. It's that simple. With AmeriFactors, there's no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now.
800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183.
Folks, we're back. It's Fifth Street Sports. Chip Chirimbus, Oklahoma Brian, and myself, Frank Perez, on Sports Byline, USA Radio Network, iHeartRadio, American Forces. We left off. Brian was getting into something very interesting. Now, Brian, I want to leave off right. Okay, you're going to take it from here. You said if this guy was black. Okay, I love that.
Yeah,
I love
want to
that.
hear what you have to say.
Because I don't want,
Well, I'm just saying, do we hold black athletes to a different standard in terms of, let's just say Kristaps was black. I wonder if people would be, asking for a long-term suspension, calling him a thug. I mean, this guy is obviously a troubled kid. I mean,
Brian.
One item, huh?
I think, can you tell me what happened in this incident? Well, I know that there was an incident. Now, the way you're describing it, he was the aggressor, or he was bullying someone, or he started a fight. What exactly happened with your knowledge?
Two things. Okay, well, obviously we know about the alleged rape incident while he was a Knick, and that's kind of a he said, she said. I don't know that that's going to really end up being a significant event, because I think that that doesn't look like the DA decided to prosecute it, but nevertheless, there's a civil suit going. So he's back in Latvia now, and he was involved in some kind of brawl, like gang type brawl. Not saying he was the aggressor, but you have to wonder, as these things continue to pile up, constantly being in the in the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't think it's a coincidence. And I would be worried about giving this guy a long-term max contract. Well,
it's two incidents that you're specifically mentioning. I'm not aware too much of anything else. I know we are all aware of that rape thing coming down in New York. I mean, it's publicized there pretty readily. And I just didn't know what the circumstances behind this latest thing. These guys are targets. Now, he's returning back, going into the Eastern Bloc virtually, and there may be a lot of jealousy and animosity to someone that has succeeded in going to America and is getting the high profile he is under. So I don't know. That's why I asked you if you knew that he was the aggressor here, or if he just got involved where excuse the expression, but shit happens, Yeah. So
yeah.
I don't know. He seemed pretty straight, and he seemed like he wanted to play basketball. But it bothers me that he's been out virtually 2 years now, and I'd like to see him back on the floor.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's too early to judge. I'm just saying. I think that there is I think he's getting the benefit of the doubt in a way that he might not get if he was a 20-year-old black kid that had the same things happen. If he went back to Atlanta and had the same scenario, lots of jealousy, got jumped at a bar or nightclub or something, would we say, well, hey, it wasn't his fault. He was not the aggressor. What's the problem? The way we are with Kristaps.
Now, Brian, do you think it affects these guys' play? Let's take this guy right now that he knows he's probably got 2 strikes against him. Things are starting to pile up. Like if there's one more incident, even if it's in the gray area, it's just he's about done.
That's when I would start to think, Frank. At that point,
do you think he starts tiptoeing through life and in things like, wow, I'm not gonna get the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? I better watch myself.
But Brian, the Knicks were willing to give up on him, and he was their darling for 2-3 years, and he was the cornerstone of what they were looking to do offensively and defensively. They had made some other errors, and there may be something to what you're saying, the way they were so readily, easily moving him and just getting rid of him and sending him to Dallas. And it may have more to do than his injury report, too, is what I'm trying to say.
Sure. Yeah. Makes you wonder. I mean, he does look like an incredible talent. I'd like to see him get back out there and play. And for Dallas, it potentially is a tremendous move. I mean, this is a franchise that looked like they were going to be stuck in the middle of the pack for a long time.
I think he fits in there really well. But they gave up Smith, and he was the one key that everyone thought can emerge as a big offensive power, and still possibly sometimes he's had nights of brilliance with the Knicks, scoring 41 points, and then the next night he's 2 of 6 from the field. So it's hard to figure sometimes.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, Brian, before we go, Chip, now I'm going to give you a couple of stats from Chip. Now, Brian, and to the listeners, this is documented on Vegas Insider. So it's not these little hype-up things where these guys tell you, they're 58-2. And this is really documented. Last 25 in the NBA, Chip is 19-6. That's NBA. Baseball, 26-5. And, baseball's a little tricky. When they say I'm so-and-so, I want to know what prices you were laying. But he did net 29.36 units. So obviously you were a little bit
dogs thrown in. Not too many big favorites at all. I think last night might have been my biggest one of the year. I had the Dodgers over the Padres. How about this kid, Chris Paddock for San Diego? I know you're following him. He starts last night having pitched 43 innings, Brian, and only given up 18 hits. And this is in the major league level. He's a rookie. But he went 3-0 his first 3 starts in April. But the best part of him was when they gave the Rookie of the Month to Peter Alfonso for the Mets.
Really?
Yeah, because he had hit like 400 during the month. And Paddock was so pissed, he says, this Peter Alfonso will pay for this. And then when the Mets and Padres played, he was 0-for-3 and struck him out twice. This is a guy and a rookie who must really believe in himself. His ERA in the minors last year was 1.89, and this year it's under, 1.23 or something along those lines? I mean, outstanding starts.
So he was actually that pissed that he didn't get.
Yeah, it was great because it was in the New York paper because Alfonso won the award, and he says, "You got to be kidding me!"
What are you?
He's 19 years old. I gotta love it.
Wow.
19 years old.
No, I don't know if he's 19.
No. Paddock is 23 years old. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Now, did he go to school?
Yeah.
Where did he pitch?
He did. I believe he went to school for 1 year. So you can look that up. I thought he was.
Because I was under the impression that last year was virtually like his first year in the minors, and this is now he's up to the big time. So, but if he's 23, 24, he seems still to be pretty cocky to be saying that. I mean, he's only pitched one month in the majors.
Oh, it looks like he went straight out of high school. He's from Austin. Went to Cedar Park High School. Okay, yeah, I know that high school. And looks like he was drafted straight out of high school.
Hey, guys, I mean, I was just looking up some stats. Tell me that Ty Cobb and Ted Williams is not in his grave. I think he's frozen somewhere in Arizona,
part of him
right? A part of him is frozen. But tell me these guys are not rolling, at least one guy rolling over in his grave. Bryce Harper, okay, and I'm picking on this guy because I think it was the worst deal in Major League history monetarily wise. $360 million, that's what he got, right? He's batting .219.
.219.
Okay, and then the other guy that was in the battle with him that got $300-something million, Machado, batting .265.
He's been hot. Machado's been hot, actually.
And Machado's been hot. So you just spent almost $700 million, and you got a .219 hitter and a .265 hitter. I mean,
I love it. I love it.
What the hell's
And
going
by the
on
way,
here?
Harper, who, like we said, doesn't get that many good pitches to hit, leads the major leagues not only in walks but in strikeouts with 57 at this time. So he's either putting it in play or not putting it in play. Like Mickey Mantle said, he struck out and walked so many times in his career, he went 6 years without taking an at-bat. He did. He had, 1,800, 2,000 in his career. They were getting 550 at-bats all the time.
Wow. 219. The other guy's hitting 265.
And Harper's been going down really bad. I mean, he hit a big home run. He had a big home run the other night, but still, he's got 7 or 8 home runs, Brian, and maybe 26, 25 RBIs. But if you watch him at the plate, he's pulling the ball. You can see he's doing the same thing nothing that you would teach a 13-year-old. I mean, he's leaning, jerking out, turning his hips, opening his hips so fast. It's just I don't see him changing.
I agree.
I used to think maybe he was injured. Yeah. At the back of my head, I said, he's got to be hurting. There's somewhere along the line he's hurting. But unless he's like Tiger Woods, I don't believe he's coming back.
Do we know who the other teams that made an offer for Harper were besides the Phillies?
Yeah,
the Dodgers made a small offer, didn't they? Make it?
Yeah, I was it. Did the White Sox jump in there, or was that with Machado? White Sox. I'm not sure.
L.A. might have been such a really good fit for him, so close to Las Vegas and the West Coast. I think he's got a little more familiarization, a little happier to have him around. But this guy's been a struggle on and off the field.
And I do believe these last two guys that we've seen holding out to the middle of February for these astronomical amounts and playing this poorly, I think these are going to be the reverse Curt Flood people. Like the Curt Flood rule. Yeah, because I think after these two guys and after this, these 10-year deals are going to be off the table for everybody. They're going to blow it for these long-term huge deals.
You never go broke underestimating the public. These guys are morons, and some of the calls they make, you just sit and they're baffling. You can't really believe it. And I can understand wanting to sign Harper, but I can't understand giving a guy that hasn't come close to having a full season or a good year in 3 seasons a 13-year contract. I mean, what? After 3 years, where's he going to dump him on the Yankees, and they'll pick up a tenth of his salary?
Yeah. And what's Stanton doing for the Yankees?
He's resting.
He's
resting. He's getting ready to get pulled out of the next game. See, at least he'll be ready to get pulled out of the next game.
I'm telling you guys, these long-term deals are not going to be very appetizing in baseball anymore. Too many busted non-value deals.
They're just trying to market these guys' brand more than anything.
Folks, when we come back, it is Talk You Can Bet On. You got Chip Chirimbus doing very, very well. Oklahoma Brian, always fantastic. Myself, I have nothing today, but when I do okay once in a while. We'll be back right after this, folks. This is 5th Street Sports.
In high traffic areas, professional painters need a paint that'll last. So do their clients, like PPG Timeless Paint in 5-gallon buckets from just $159. Now at the Home Depot, with fast one-coat coverage and the toughest, most wear-resistant finish to prevent future scuffs, stains, and you having to come back to fix them. Tough, high-quality PPG Timeless Paint, exclusively at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only. See store for details.
At Indeed, we understand that when it comes to hiring, it's important to have a large talent pool to choose from. But sometimes too many good options can be overwhelming. That's why Indeed doesn't just give you access to a large pool of job seekers. We also offer screener tools that let you instantly narrow down your search. Hone in on hiring with Indeed. Experience Indeed for yourself today and get a free sponsored job upgrade on your first posting at Indeed.com/promo. Terms and conditions apply.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. They want your money, and guess what? They can legally take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you. So what do? Fight back by letting our team of experts at the Tax Helpline work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws and will fight to save your money. So, if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket.
800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. That's 800-932-1749. Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low Cost Airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
All right, folks, Fifth Street Sports Talk you can bet on. We got Chip Chirimbus, Oklahoma Brian. I'm Frank Perez. We're going to talk about some things, also give out something we can make some dough on. Yesterday we did good. We quadruple bet team total, Portland under, first half under, game under. We were all over it. What were we talking? Oh, we were talking about these high price athletes. Yeah, in my thing, Chip, I think these guys are going to cure these 10-year monster deals.
That started a long time ago. I remember with a pitcher by the name of Wayne Garland. We might have mentioned this before. And he had 1 year, and they signed him to a 10-year deal. And 18 months later, he was out of baseball. And I felt at that time, with giving this guy a journeyman, I mean, all this big money would be a lesson. No one's learned. They just went right out, and they'll do it time and again. I think they think they're geniuses. The Albert Pujols deal, I mean, that was absolutely absurd. And he's still got another, what's he got, 5 or 6 years left, Brian, with the Angels?
Yeah.
But he's going to hit a solid 230. And, you know, I mean, he's a better 230 hitter than Harper.
Yeah, 219 the guys hit. Yeah. Hey, Brian, let me ask you a question. Have you done any work or seen any sharp accounts on this Milwaukee game tonight?
Well, Milwaukee NBA or Milwaukee baseball? Because I have seen
NBA.
Okay, yeah, the baseball Milwaukee has been bet by several sharp accounts. You know, in the NBA, no, I think I don't really have a side that I like in the NBA tonight. Do you?
Chip does.
What in the NBA tonight? Yeah. Well, I've used Toronto, and I was explaining to Frank. I said, here's Milwaukee opening against Detroit, a double-digit favorite, and just sweeps through 4-0. Straight up and against the points. comes to host Boston, almost in the same position they are here, get beat outright by 22 in the first game, and then swept the Celtics 4 in a row. In the meantime, I think the Raptors are like 2-6 against the points, or it's not a winning proposition to be taking them so far. So I just think it figures that this one will play close, though it's really tough. It's tough for me to make a wager against this Milwaukee team the way they're playing. It's just my side. That's all I can do. I can't do anything else with it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I'd like to be out of Milwaukee, but 6.5 feels like too many to me. But I have a hard time also wanting. I don't know. I'd might be a good game for interactive betting. This figures to be a game with a lot of runs both ways.
And I like the idea that the favorite won game 1 last night, and maybe they'll give the dog tonight. And I'd love to see the Bucks win by 3 or 4, but who knows where. But you mentioned Milwaukee in the baseball, and who are they up against today?
Let me pull that up. They are up against Philadelphia, and wow, yeah, a couple of you got Harbor and Arrieta. Talk about dead bodies.
Could you tell me what the line is on that game right now, Brian?
Philly's about a minus 125 favorite.
All right, because when I saw that this morning, they opened up $1.10, $1.15 in some houses, and my first thought was, how could Arrieta at home be such a meager favorite? So I did use the Brewers as well. And now you're telling me that some major players are on the Brewers, and yet the line has gone up. That might encourage me to play them even more. But do you have anything on the Cincinnati Red Chicago Cub game? Because that's the one I have most interest in.
A lot of sharp accounts betting Cincinnati early this morning, fading Darvish. Boy, it's moved a lot though. It's moved like close to 30 cents now. So not sure.
What did you just say? Cincinnati's $1.30?
$1.35 now.
Cincinnati's $1.35. Now this is a team with an 0-4 starter against a Cub team that's won 13 out of 15, right? This is my don't make sense play of the game, by the way, because I do have the Cincinnati Reds on top of all my selections today. It doesn't make sense. How can they be favored like this?
Doesn't make sense.
Well, who's going? Is Castillo going?
No, the kid that
it's Sonny Gray.
Oh,
Sonny Gray.
He's not bad.
Yeah. No, he's 0-4. But actually, he's thrown a lot better than it might say. I think he's given up less hits than innings pitched, and he's got virtually 3.1 runs per start. So I'm betting on him to come through for us tonight. I couldn't believe he came up favored in that game against Hugh Darvish, who's given up more walks than strikeouts so far.
Hey, Brian, here's one for you, because I know you love to, when you see something, you love to pick on guys and you stay on them against them all year. Mm-hmm. Right now, it seems after a month and a half in baseball, from all the guys I talk to, everybody they're consistently always against Felix Hernandez. They're against this Yu Darvish. But did you ever think? So you get your 5 or 6 pitchers that. Who's the one that the one that Rick hates is what's his name for? I think he pitched yesterday. He pitched yesterday against the Mets. Oh, Hellickson. So there's about 4 or 5 anti-go-to guys. Yeah. Did you ever think that Chris Sale would be on that list?
But the price is so high for him. I've been going against Sale for.
Well, Brian yesterday. I'm saying we're fading Sale.
The team betting against the team is not a bad thing with him on the mound right now, because he seems to have that. But boy, was he outstanding yesterday! He had 17 strikeouts in 6 innings. That's pretty good.
And lost.
I don't know, 6 innings. I made that up. I was going to say 4 innings.
He didn't lose.
17 strikeouts.
He didn't lose, but the team did. So Brian, I mean, is Chris Sale on our list of anti guys? Let's go against him every time.
Yeah, I think that it's like what is it that we say about professional or about the UFC, right? About mixed martial arts, right? Who are the guys you want to bet on? You want to bet against the guys that are household names, right? By the time you've heard of somebody, you probably don't want to be betting on him. And I think the same thing is true in baseball. The guys that are household names that the Johnny Lunchbox knows. I think that translates into baseball. The Chris Sales, the guys that are consistently, 220, 240 favorites. Those are the guys that I like to be against.
not to get off on too big a tangent, Brian, I got to ask you, do you bet any WNBA?
I like to bet the WNBA. Yeah.
Because I've just opened up Vegas Insider invited me to handicap the WNBA, and I was trying to make a decision as to whether it'd be worth it and whether we can make a profit out of it. So you think you can make money out of it?
Yeah, we got to do a WNBA show here in the next couple of weeks. It's a whole different type of betting. You're not necessarily trying to be the contrarian and take value. Right. Oftentimes, if a sharp guy lays 2, you can still lay 3 or 4 on this.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. So the money really doesn't affect the outcome here. There's no public sentiment that may draw people to one side or another. Because it's probably not that much action that it would have a bearing or an influence.
And there are a lot of live dogs. A lot of live money line dogs.
So you're talking about live dogs. Bets. Frank, are you familiar with it? Have you bet it?
Oh, I love the WNBA. Only, you guys, I don't know if it's maybe not cool to say it on the show. I have a few different handicapping angles in the WNBA. Usually in the NBA or baseball, you look for guys with, growing pulls or, a calf or an Achilles or
So you're looking for beards and mustaches in the WNBA?
No, but in the WNBA, you really you want to know,
Sorry, Brian.
In the middle of the night, if any of the girls went down to the Walmart and bought, certain female items.
They're pros. I think you're nuts.
No. How many times do you see an injury and it says so and so out, personal reasons? So and so out, personal reasons.
Well, you try breastfeeding twins and playing 12 games a month. It's not easy.
So if you can, especially if you ever get a game where you can figure out one of the players is on the first and third days. Let's say it's
you are really demented. I mean, how much money do you have to make?
You guys, it's a big factor. It's a big factor. You get a couple of these girls. That's how you see, the Mercury minus 13.5 against, let's say, the Sparks. And then you say, oh, look at this. 13.5. They're plus 820. The Sparks win by 25. I mean, just like nothing.
I don't know. I got to disassociate myself with that.
I mean, I didn't mention it. I didn't get sick or anything like this, but there are a few angles that you got to throw in there.
We'll skip
I'll tell you one thing. One thing that's really interesting about the WNBA, in the NBA, referees are announced at 9 a.m. every day. And it's intentional because the league doesn't want to create a black market for information of which referees are working which games.
So lines are posted on these games on a daily basis, right? When's the opener? Now?
Big time.
The openers, there's overnights on the WNBA, but they're very low limits. And oftentimes the overnight bets are the wrong way. Those are the phony bets to set up the market. So
I saw it on the schedule today, and I was wondering.
Good.
Oh, you're talking about the preseason. The preseason is lightly bet in the WNBA. Not every game.
Yeah, when's the regular season starting?
I think the 24th or 25th of May. But Brian, I want to touch back on something you just went over: the phony betting in the WNBA on the night before. Talk to us about that.
Well, the openers are typically like $100. So who's going to bet the right side at $100? I mean, it's just you're giving a platform for guys to go phony these things up, and that happens. Yeah, really, I think it's around 11 a.m. day of game, assuming it's not one of those summer camp games that starts early. It's usually around 10 or 11 where the full market opens up, and you have full limits, and then that's where the real betting starts.
It's going to be interesting. So your advice, Brian, would be that if I'm going to get involved in this, which I'm really looking forward to committing myself, is that I should probably wait a little bit longer to assess what those numbers mean and probably post later in the day.
Yeah, well, there's two types of betting. There's the guys chasing the early number, and then there are the people waiting for lineups because there's a lot of the WNBA has lots of scratches at post time, and so. They only play 36 games, but
how is the information? Is information accessible?
It's not posted as systematically like men's basketball is. And I'll tell you another thing, Chip, is they're not allowed to fly. Charter. They have to fly commercial with everything they do. And they don't play that many back-to-backs, but they have to play a few back-to-backs. I think each team has maybe.
Well, the Vegas
4
team failed to
back-to-back.
show up on one of them because the traveling conditions were so poor last year.
There's a
But you know what?
protest, yeah.
That's what the word professional means, Brian. You play. You're tired. Doesn't matter if you were up all night. You're a professional. That's what that means.
Well,
so I kind of took exception to them not taking the court that night.
But that was weird. But it's a great handicapping tool because here's what happens in a lot of these markets. If the game ends at say 9 or 9:30, by the time they shower, leave the arena, there's no flights out of the airport for that city. So what they end up having to do is wake up at 4:30 in the morning or 5 in the earlier and get on that first flight out, like the 5 o'clock or 5:30 flight outbound. And by the time they get to the next city, they really are exhausted. So the back-to-backs in the WNBA, that's probably the biggest angle, is fading back-to-backs in the WNBA.
Well, I don't think they have that many of them. Like you said, they're only playing, 35, 36 games as it is. So
yeah, they play like 4.
I'm going to be interested, though.
Yeah, but, Chip, if you can get 12, 15 plays a year because of that, maybe even 10, I mean, that's huge.
They have to schedule this ahead of time. I mean, in baseball, we have getaway days and time starts at a little bit earlier, and they'd be foolish not to do that. I mean, we know the snafu they hit last year, but that was because, like you said, the commercial airlines had issues, and weather played a big, heavy role into it. And it's playing back-to-back. Come on, it's part of the job. It's just like playing a doubleheader and having to play another game the next day. You play.
Boy, but as Brian was talking about getting that flight, if I was getting tired myself just thinking about me boarding that plane. Anyways, folks, when we come back, we're going to have a few more plays for you on Talk We Can Bet On. We'll be back right after this break.
You know what the other thing?
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. Dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
Attention, this important consumer alert is brought to you by Annuity Action Network. Hey, did you know it's possible to receive upfront money from your monthly settlement payments? It's true. If you receive monthly payments from an annuity or a structured settlement and you need a lump sum immediately, then you need to call Annuity Action Network. With your cash today, you can pay off credit card debt, pay medical bills, fund your education, or improve your home. You don't need to wait. Call the Annuity Action Network now to get your fast cash with no hidden costs. And if you call today, we'll even send you a $100 cash gift card just for verifying your settlement payments and your contact information. If you have a structured settlement or an annuity and you want cash now, call Annuity Action Network right now.
800-514-9170. 800-514-9170. That's 800-514-9170.
Attention business owners, now is the perfect time to start saving money on your cable TV bill for your business. We can give you packages with up to 90 great channels and save your business a ton of cash. And if you call right now, you can learn how to get free equipment and free installation. Now you have choices. It's time to start saving money on your cable TV bill for your business. And call today and get 90 channels plus free equipment and free installation. Smart business owners like you all across the country are consolidating and saving money on their cable TV, internet, and phone service for their business. So now's the perfect time. This may be a limited time offer to the first 100 people that call right now. So please save money and call now.
800-470-7113. 800-470-7113. 800-470-7113. That's 800-470-7113.
All right, folks, Fifth Street Sports. We only got a few minutes. We're going to go fast here. We got Chip Chirimbus. I'm Frank Perez on Sports Byline USA Radio Network. And, of course, Oklahoma Brian, my co-host. Hey, you guys, let me give you one game that I just seen. I just have to take it. Detroit Tigers at home today. Soto against Verlander. Detroit plus 305 at home in baseball. I'm taking it just out of principle. Brian, Andrew,
Frank,
we got something on the social there?
I was going to say we got a few social media messages in. I'm going to rattle them off real quick. We're live streaming right now, live on Facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk and YouTube.com/Fifth Street Sports. This first one comes in from Jim Chouinard. I'm sorry if I just butchered your last name. And it goes as follows. He's saying Bruins going to sweep. He's asking if the Boston Bruins are going to sweep.
Well, we've said it here before. They've had the path cleared for them with the Lightning going out and the number 2 seed as well. And they're just dominating this play. Carolina, last night, you knew they were in trouble. In the first period, they had 21 shots on goal to 6. They came out of that period even at 0-0. It was downhill for them the rest of the way. I don't see Carolina recovering. And I think the Bruins are tougher than anything we're coming out of the West.
Jimbo, thank you, buddy. Yeah, we agree with you.
We got one more from him as well, asking who is winning the golf tournament.
We can make money if we knew that. That's for sure.
I like Dustin Johnson in this one. I think what's he getting? Plus 1,200, plus 1,300.
Well, you got to keep the ball in play here. That's
and then,
for sure.
As per usual, we actually have a message from Daniel Wages. 925. I'm assuming these are his picks. 925 Miami Urea plus 155 and Kawhi Leonard over 31.5 points. How do you guys like the Leonard prop bet? When I ask, we cash.
Yes, sir, Daniel. Thank you very much. Daniel's very sharp yesterday. He did good on our under. He liked it too. Urena, I was just talking to Chip in between things. I like Urena. Brian, why don't you answer that Kawhi Leonard one? What do you think of that?
Makes sense. I don't see anybody stopping him. Yeah, I mean, sure.
A match of superstars.
I don't oppose it. Yeah.
Well, guys, time goes fast when you're having fun. Brian, thank you, buddy. Chip, thank you very much, folks, and we thank you and appreciate you for listening and watching us on Fifth Street Sports. We'll see you tomorrow. Chip's going to be in the house again tomorrow. Remember, chipwins.com. See you tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern.